Late. It's running about 80 billion now, and we're 2021. It's supposed to be done by 2020. Of course, COVID came along. We have to recognise that. And the best guess now is that 100 billion could be delivered next year, 2022, but will be delivered in 2023. Now, that's 3 years too late, and that's reprehensible, and that's a breach of trust. But the first thing is deliver on that, but that is coming. That is coming. But now we have to look beyond that, and we have to think of all the forms of finance, from the bilaterals, that means, from donor to recipient directly, through the multilaterals, through the multilateral development banks, bringing in the private sector, and new forms of money like special drawing rights, voluntary carbon markets, philanthropy, and so on.
And you've had the opportunity to work in both India and China, two countries that have been criticised for not being ambitious enough here. Do you think that there needs to be more of an understanding of the drivers that are influencing policymakers in those two countries and the needs that they have?
Absolutely. India and China are the two most important countries in the world. By far the biggest populations. Very different countries, very different ambitions, needs, structures of their economy. But Prime Minister Modi's speech last week for India, where they're going to cut emissions per unit of output by 45% this decade, means that they're going to peak emissions around 2030. China has consistently said before 2060 for carbon neutrality, peaking before 2030. I believe China will peak well before 2030. I hope by 2025. That would be a tremendous step forward.
And you authored a landmark review into the economics of climate change back in 2006. I'm just going to read a bit of the simple conclusion you reached. Quote, "The benefits of strong and early action far outweigh the economic costs of not acting." 15 years later, and we're still hearing the same concerns.
Actually, it's even stronger now, because the costs of things like renewables have come right down, and the costs of inaction, we understand year by year, are even more severe than we thought before. So that statement was absolutely clearly right then, and it's just been underlined and underlined ever since.
And there's still a lot of people out there who are sceptical about climate change and the politics of it all. What would your simple message be to them?
Well, wake up and understand science.
That was Nicholas Stern, author of a 2006 report on the economics of climate change, talking to our correspondent, Naweed Jabalkil.